11 days into the war with Iran, President Trump says the U.S. will take additional steps to secure the Strait of Hormuz. Though only 7% of total U.S. crude oil supply came from shipments that traveled through the strait in 2024. As we've mentioned, about 20% of global oil passes through the strait, and it's been effectively shut down since the war started. On Monday night, the president promised a solution.
The United States is offering political risk insurance to any tankers operating in the Gulf, so we're putting up risk insurance. We'll perhaps go alongside of them for protection. We don't think it'll be necessary if it is. And if they do anything, the price will be incalculable.
In a Truth Social post, the president said the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation will provide political risk assurance to all shipping lines. It's a government agency established in 2019 to back global investment projects. The agency specified it would insure losses up to about $20 billion on a rolling basis. Iran's military doesn't appear fazed. In a statement to Iranian media, the country's military said it would not allow any oil to flow through the region as long as the fighting continues. U.S. officials also tell CBS News there are indications Iran is taking steps to deploy naval mines in the strait. Jatin Dua joins us now. He's an associate professor of anthropology and director of the Oceans Lab at the University of Michigan. Thank you for being here. How does insurance in the Strait of Hormuz operate under normal circumstances?
So in normal circumstances in the Straits of Hormuz, just like anywhere else, you would have multiple insurance policies that operate. So you have insurance for cargo, you have insurance for the crew, for the ship itself, which is called hull and machine insurance, and then insurance also for third-party damages, such as environmental damages that can happen if there's an accident or something like that. This is a very complex system run by small specialized companies that are mostly based out of London. So in some ways, and with Lloyd's of London being one of the kind of key players in all of this.
What changed after the war started?
So insurance companies deal with war through either rerouting or repricing. The Strait of Hormuz is a choke point, as has been talked about. It's where 20% of oil and gas flows go through. Unlike other choke points, though, it's also a funnel. It's impossible to fully reroute ships through this region. So when there were hijackings off the coast of Somalia or Houthi attacks in the Red Sea, many shippers were able to reroute ships through Africa. This is not possible in this case. So in that sense, what has happened is as soon as war was declared, over 20,000 seafarers and over 150 ships are basically stuck in the region. And part of this is because insurance policies are being repriced. So war risk cover, which is a specialized insurance that comes in when war or instability breaks out. So then certain regions are declared high-risk areas. In that situation, you have to pay much more. And this is a specialized insurance. It's paid per voyage. So for example, you would be paying something like $50,000 to almost even sometimes $1 million more per voyage for traveling through the region. So given that, many ships simply stopped moving. So that's currently where we are at, is where most ships are just stuck on both sides, particularly the southern part of the strait.
So would the president's solution of this pledge of this government agency stepping in to insure ships, is that enough to help solve the issue? And overall, what does this mean for the American consumer?
Right. So in terms of insurance, it's important when I've talked to insurance companies and seafarers, there is insurance, right? So the problem is not lack of insurance. It's simply that insurance is too expensive. And the president's policies through the DFC are currently targeted both towards hull and machinery, so the ship itself, as well as cargo. What it doesn't cover is any potential environmental damages, which could run in hundreds of millions that could happen if there are accidents or, drone attacks or things like that. And so I think that's where insurance, the short answer is no, insurance is not enough. And another thing to remember is that with war risk cover and all of these insurance policies, individual ship owners, captains, and crew members themselves can say, wait, this is too risky for me. I'm not going to go through this. And they can say, I want to be repatriated, right? And this is happening currently. And so all of this means even though the US is not directly impacted in the sense we are not getting oil and gas from the Strait of Hormuz, oil and gas are globally traded commodities. Prices rise. things like this is also a major flow point for things that are essential for fertilizers. So farmers and the costs and the risks are distributed throughout, including here for the U.S. consumer.
Well, Professor Jatin Dua, we really appreciate you explaining all that for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.